So the song is called Love Me Tonight, and everybody loves Richard Wilkins, and he's right here this morning. Good morning, Richard.
Good morning to you, sir. How are you doing?
I tell you what, I think we're doing a lot better than you guys. I watched the Today Show this morning. I'm thinking, wow, you guys.
Sorry about that.
Oh, seriously? But you do it with no sleep. We're very impressed.
Well, a little bit of sleep, not as much as one could have, but it's we all love what we do, and we had a big night last night. It was a great party, great night for the television industry, great night on our network. We're all sort of working one way or another, and then we get up and do it again in the morning. It's when you don't have a decision to make, you just do what you do.
Absolutely, and it was great. We were sitting watching there last night. I have to say, for me, Julia Morris stole the show.
Well, Julia was Julia was fantastic. I was fortunate enough. We were down in the room on Saturday watching rehearsals, and she ran through the song or through the piece about 3 or 4 times, and it was just funny. It was different and equally as funny every time she did it, and she nailed it on the night. She is a gift to the Logies. She's just wonderful. Everybody loves her. She just captures the mood and does it with aplomb.
Yeah, and as I say, for me, I mean, it was just for us certainly the highlight. Interesting. We watched Bert Newton with sort of bated breath. Thought, wow, that was interesting.
Well, yeah, I feel bad and slightly disrespectful even having this conversation, because I love Bert Newton. I grew up watching him, and people like me look up at him as one of the grand patriarchs of the industry, and you look at his career and think, wow, wouldn't it be nice to do something like that? And he was, he walked out and has a great presence and a command of the room and got a standing ovation, which was lovely. But I think, he did some risky lines, and he knew they were risky. He would have known. He did know that, obviously. Yeah. And they were just, the world has changed, and whether you agree with every part of that change or not, there's no doubting or ignoring the fact that the whole Me Too and the this and that, has changed the way we feel about certain comments and certain things. And there were a couple of his lines that were just a little too old school, I think, if I can put it that way. Yes. And, he's got so much love that he's accrued over the years that it'll wash off as it should, but there were some funny stuff in the room. There were some old school ones, and there were just a couple that missed the mark, I think, a little bit. And, I feel a bit sorry for him for that. Not that he'll probably care too much, but, he's such a pro, that he wants to nail it every time. But I don't know. Do you agree with what I just said?
I agree 100%, because we sat there, and I'm, as you can tell by my accent, I'm not from around here, but even in the UK, we'd heard of Bert Newton, and he was highly respected. And, to see him walk on the stage, but we sat there and I went, wow, okay. I mean, I thought Hughesy was a bit close, but Bert Newton just went a little bit over that line, in my opinion.
Well, I agree with you. I think, Hughesy is fantastic. He has a great knack of, he's a pro. He's the perfect person to open the show. Again, everybody loves him. He, he's made it his task, if you like, to sort of look back at the year that was, some of the memorable moments, the good things and the bad things, and obviously looks for some funny lines and a couple of scapegoats along the way. And he got a few last night and got some well-deserved laughs, and he was fantastic last night.
Yes, I have to say, your pal and sort of co-host, Mr. Stefanovic, was looking rather uncomfortable. I thought, oh dear, here we go. But it was all fun.
Carl and Pete knew they had one coming. Ubergate's hard to drive past for someone like Hughesy on that night, but there were a couple there. The Barnaby Joyce interview and a few others. There were some good gags. Hughesy is such a pro. I love these, again, old school comedians. I had the pleasure of working with Joan Rivers a few years back.
Oh, wow.
And she, as a straight guy, obviously, but, she used to rehearse lines and write gags and then find little clubs and go and rehearse them in front of a small audience to see how they said. Hughesy was here on the Gold Coast. He's walking around like a homeless people for a couple of days. We kept bumping into him. But he drove up to Brisbane the other night and found a small, stand-up comedy club, and ran his opening monologue in front of an unsuspecting audience just to see how it was going to go. And that's the sort of commitment to his craft that I admire greatly.
Yeah, and you've had a fantastic career yourself, Richard. And I have to tell you,
hopefully I'm still having it.
Well, fingers crossed. I have to tell you, and this is a true story. And you know this. You very kindly did a lovely birthday message from my wife last year on her 50th, and it was great, and she was very excited. So I bought her a trip to the Great Wall of China. You got more of a reaction from your 1-minute video than I did from my trip. So thanks for that.
Gee, well, you need to get a new travel agent for a start.
Well, for starters, and maybe a new Mrs. Bennett.
We have a mutual friend, who I work with, and you're obviously dear friends with.
Yeah.
So, we're only around for so long, and when friends ask you to do things, you do them.
Well, bless you for that. And she said that she really did appreciate it. Very quickly, just one thing I got to mention. I'm a huge fan of Tracy Grimshaw. For me, I've been brought up in a TV environment working with our mutual friend for many years. I thought she was a shoo-in. I thought she would definitely win last night. Was it a surprise? Did it get a reaction in the room when Grant Denyer won?
Well, it was a surprise to many, I think, but and I don't want to be disingenuous to Grant.
Oh no, certainly not.
Who's obviously won, and good luck to him. I think if I could just make another observation that, I love Tracy. She's a friend, and I think she would have been a wonderfully deserving winner, and I think she probably should have won, but, such is the nature of the voting process these days, and you can't judge the goalposts or the referees or the umpires, but, it's very much an online campaign. Well, it is online. You vote online.
Yeah.
And I think that, Grant's social media activity, his campaign was obviously more effective. Tracy had lots of plugs on Channel 9, but, does the older audience, those of us over 35, 40, are we more likely to cut a coupon out? Probably not that, but, are the young people better, faster, more equipped to vote online? Possibly.
Yeah, possibly. It's hard to tell, but I just felt, and she's done such again, even back in the UK, we'd all heard of Tracy Grimshaw. She's such a good journalist.
Well, she is. There's no doubt about that. And, as they say at the Oscars, and I say every year when I'm covering it, often really the honour is getting the nomination, and after that it's really just a kind of a popularity contest. But, I know that Tracy was genuinely chuffed to get a nomination. She would have loved to have won, no doubt about that. But, it wasn't her year. Let's hope she gets another crack at it. And, congratulations, Grant Denyer. No, he made a beautiful speech. It's just weird when the guy who wins the biggest prize doesn't have a sort of show.
How does that work? You know what? I was just thinking, Richard, if we were in the UK, you would either have a knighthood and an OBE for services to entertainment. So I'm thinking maybe we need to have a campaign for you for that.
Well, I don't think you can get either of those things in this country, but you're very kind to suggest that, sir. Thank you.
Well, we really appreciate you taking time out. I know you've got to rush back to Sydney and do some more work, but it was great to chat to you. Thank you for giving us a bit of an insight. And again, on behalf of Mrs. Bennett, thank you for the message as well.
Anytime, sir. Anytime at all. Thank you.
So there you are, and that was the inside information. Our huge thank you there to Richard Wilkins, star, of course, of Channel 9, the entertainment editor, and as we say, a TV legend. And I'd be very interested to know what you thought of the Logies if you watched them last night. We've got Tracy Eaton coming on. She was one of the people who gave away her artwork to some of the prize winners last night. So let's find out what she thought, and she'll be with us about 10:15 this morning. Goodness me. So we got all the best people on here. And that resulted in a throwaway text message I sent to a good friend of mine who happens to be quite big at Channel 9. Helps have friends on the inside, eh? Eagles on 101 FM. The song is about James Dean.
James Dean. I know James